I put my trust and faith in this oncologist that told me that the radiotherapy was going to get rid of it in the first place. At that point in time, it spread like wildfire. I actually ended up at that point in time when I was sitting there, I had 6 tumours in my neck.
Yeah.
After they got rid of this one in my neck here, so they're like they're now scrambling. They're like, well, we need to get you into chemotherapy. I'm like, no, hold on a minute.
Because it's all popping up.
Yeah. So I had 2 tumours here in my neck, 2 tumours there, one area in my neck. So in total, I had 7 tumours in my head and neck area. But the point being is like, hold on a minute. You've told me something's going to work. It hasn't worked. You've now lost my trust. I'm now taking ownership. I'll do it when I'm ready to do it. If I'm ready at all to do it. And he was like blown away by that. I was like, well, "What do you mean you're going to die? Well, if you don't take this treatment, you're going to die. Like months. You got 3 months. If you don't take this treatment, you're going to die in 3 months." Okay. And I went, "Yeah, I'll think about it."
Fucking hell, mate. Wow.
But it's the time. It's the what I'd done with that is in that space of time, I backed up. I took. Don't get me wrong. I walked out of that meeting with that oncologist, and I broke down.
Yeah, of course you did.
I broke down outside the hospital with my mum and my dad and my family. Cried my eyes out. I sat there and I'm like, shit. I'm in terrible place here. I'm gonna go potentially. I was only time that I actually thought this could be it.
Was that day?
I had it going on in my head, but I weren't saying anything. I didn't want to scare my family.
That's the first time you sort of just in front of them all said, "Fucking hell, this is it."
This could be it.
How was that, if you don't mind me asking, just as a father, was that the most painful thing around?
Yeah, I mean, to be there with my girls and you know, for them to sit there and hear that.
How old were they?
Oh, so my daughter would have been my youngest. She would have been about 13. And my eldest would have been about 20 and about 19.
Oh fucking hell! How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 42, mate. I've got three kids. Yeah, I did start young. Yeah, I've got 3 kids. I've got a grandson as well. Believe it or not. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
But yeah, okay, all right. So, well, that's just. I mean,
yeah, it was an intense experience. It was an intense experience. But what it was I decided that I was going to put this off. I didn't want to do it. I'll be honest with you.
You didn't want the chemo.
I didn't want chemotherapy. You'd already failed with.
You'd done it.
You'd already failed with the radiotherapy. You'd already done that. I didn't want to do chemo. I was so against doing it. If I'm in all honesty, I was so against doing both of these treatments. I was peer pressured into doing it. My family peer pressured me into doing it.
Yeah, of course, but they know that's all they know. And
of course.
And they believe doctors.
Yeah,
and
of course.
You know.
I don't.
Of course.
I've got nothing against my family for doing that, but I can stand and put my hand on my heart and say, generally, I didn't want to do any of it.
Yeah.
My family was so on me, like the pressure that I was under.
They thought it was the only way to save you.
Yeah, of course. No, and I love them dearly for it. There's nothing. I hold no grudges or anything against any of my family for putting me through that. They didn't know what I knew. It was for the year of doing that whole rabbit hole and going down that. They didn't know that.
So crazy. So you've gone down the rabbit hole for a year. You've been diagnosed. They've tried to treat it. They've told you you've got 3 to 4 months to live. They've said to you that you've got to get into chemotherapy tomorrow. You said you'll think about it. You've gone away. Now tell us what you did and what happened, man.
So in that space and time, I got in touch with as many kind of specialists as I possibly could. I spoke to a herbal specialist who gave me one of the best bits of advice I've ever received out of all of it. And he said this to me. He went, I don't have a problem with chemotherapy. He said, but what I have a problem with is the oncologists don't prepare their patients well enough for the onslaught of what the body's going to have to go through. And I went, what do you mean that? He said, well, you need to prep your body to go into something like that. And I went, well, how much prep time do you need to do this? He went, around about 6 weeks. I went, I ain't got 6 weeks, mate. I went, they want me to do this tomorrow. And I went, I got 3. He went, oh, Right, okay. He said, well, if I was you, he said, I would recommend you put this off for as long as you possibly can and prep yourself if you're going to go ahead with it. And in the back of my mind, I thought, you know what?
Maybe.
I've got this pressure here. I probably am going to have to buckle and do it, but I'm going to do it in the best prepped way I possibly can, because I want to get the best out of this. So he said to me, right, you need to change your diet completely. You need to kind of make sure your body's in a fasted state before you go into chemotherapy. And the reason why I say that is because when your body's in a fasted state, he said you want to be at least 24 hours fasted state. When your body's in a fasted state, your immune system is at its optimal level.
And it's fixing you.
It's fixing you anyway. But what the point being is when you haven't got food to digest and you're not digesting, the body's not working on anything. It can handle what it's got to be thrown.
Like do some self-maintenance.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So every chemo. So that's what I've done. I fasted. I went on a very very deep juice detox itself. And meditation. I started taking cannabis oil as well. For what I was recommended. And then I put it off for 3 weeks. I've done all this prep work, 3 weeks. At that 3 week, in that 3 weeks was intense. Like I was getting progressively worse, and it has been known that cancer patients get worse before they get better.